If you have been trying to reprogram your subconscious mind, stop. Don't do another affirmation. Don't do another vision board. Don't visualize anything. Just stop. Because you are literally using the wrong methods to reprogram your subconscious mind. And that is exactly why it is not working for you. Let me show you what I mean. So right now you probably have a goal. Maybe it's making more money. Maybe it's losing weight. Maybe it's attracting a relationship to yourself. And you've probably tried a bunch of things to achieve this already, right? You've done affirmations. You've done journaling. You've done the vision board. You've done visualization. You've done meditating. You've told yourself that you are abundant 50 times in the mirror. And maybe it worked. Maybe just for a little bit. You felt motivated. You took some action. You saw some progress. But then what happened? You hit a wall. You self-sabotaged and you went back into your old patterns. The problem is that you are trying to reprogram your subconscious mind using methods that aren't designed to reprogram anything. It's like trying to install new software on your iPhone and just staring at it and hoping that it updates. It's not going to work. And so in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why what you have been doing doesn't work. And I'm going to show you the one method that I found over doing this for 5 years now that actually does work. So here's what's actually happening in your brain right now. You see, you have two minds, your conscious mind and your unconscious mind, or your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is the part that sets goals. It's the part that says, I want to make $10,000 a month, or I want to lose 20 pounds. But here's the thing, your conscious mind only controls about 10% of your behavior. The other 90%, that's your unconscious or your subconscious mind. And your unconscious mind or your subconscious mind is running on old programming, or as I like to call it, old software. You can think about it like this. Your unconscious mind is like a computer that's still running on an old Windows 95. And you are trying to install the new 2025 software on it. And it's just not going to work. Now, where did this old software come from? Where does this old software that you already have programmed into you, where does it come from? It came from your childhood, it came from your parents, it comes from your environment and from every experience that you've ever had. Because when you were a kid, maybe you heard the saying, money doesn't grow on trees, or you've heard your parents say, no, we can't afford that, or you've heard people around you say, rich people are greedy. Your unconscious mind then took these statements and turned them into scripts. And these are scripts and programs that are literally running 24/7 inside your mind without you even knowing about it. Now, as an adult, you consciously say to yourself that you want to be healthy. But your unconscious has a script that says, people like me don't get rich. And so guess who ultimately wins that fight? Your unconscious mind will win every single time. This is called unconscious conflict. And it's the real reason that you are currently stuck where you are, unable to break past the ceiling that you're trying to get through, or achieve those large goals that you've been trying to achieve, or manifest the things that you want in your life. It's not because you're lazy, it's not because you lack discipline, but it's because you are literally fighting with yourself every single day. Your conscious mind and your unconscious mind are literally at battle every single day. Now, here's why the methods you've been using don't actually fix this problem. Affirmations only talk to your conscious mind. Your unconscious mind doesn't believe them. In fact, if you have unconscious conflict, affirmations can actually make things worse for you, because now you are creating even more internal division between your conscious and your unconscious mind. Visualization is the same problem. You're visualizing with your conscious mind, but your unconscious is just sitting there going, yeah, that's right, that's never gonna happen. Vision boards, I've done them, they're pretty, but they don't reprogram anything. Same with goal setting. You can set all the goals that you want, but if your unconscious doesn't believe you can achieve them, you're just going to self-sabotage yourself in the process of achieving those goals. You see, all these methods have the same fatal flaw. They only engage with 10% of your mind. They completely ignore the 90% that is actually running the show of your life. And that is simply why they don't work. This is why they have not worked for you. So what is the actual solution? Well, Back in the 1970s, there was a researcher at MIT named Stuart Lichtman. He was studying artificial intelligence. He was one of the very first people to be able to study artificial intelligence. And he discovered something completely interesting. He discovered that computers learn through repetition and reinforcement. You show them something over and over and over again, and eventually they learn it. He then thought to himself, wait a minute. The human brain works the exact same way. That's how we have learned to walk. That's how we've learned to talk. That's how we've learned to ride a bike. So he asked himself, what if I could use the same principles that we teach computers to learn to reprogram the human unconscious mind? And that is exactly what he did. He created a method called cybernetic transposition. And this is the way that you use it in order to reprogram your subconscious mind and to start achieving the things that you want in your life, to start achieving your manifestations, to start not self-sabotaging yourself when you go after your goals. The first thing you need to do, the very first step, is that you write something which is called a meta story. What a meta story is that it's a specific description of your goal as if it has already happened. But it's not just any description. You see, it follows a precise formula that speaks directly to your unconscious mind. And so, for example, instead of saying, I want to make $10,000 a month, you would write your meta story like this. It's December 1st, 2025. I just woke up feeling excited and grateful. I'm so happy that now I make $10,000 a month doing the work that I love. I feel secure, I feel confident, and I feel proud of what I have built. Now, do you see the difference? You're not asking for something, you are describing it as if it is already real, with emotion and with specificity. This is the language that your unconscious mind understands. And so step 2 of this process of how to rewire your unconscious mind is that you write this meta story by hand with pen and paper 10 times a day for at least 10 days. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like a lot of work. Well, do you want your goals or not? Do you want to get the things that you want, or do you want to stay exactly where you are? Because you can continue having the life that you want, or you can do something that is going to allow your unconscious brain to rewire itself and get to the things that you want. Because this can look like it's difficult, but at the same time, is your life not difficult right now? Is your life not difficult by you not having the things that you want? Is your life not difficult by you not honoring the things that you say to yourself? Like, you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it, or you end up self-sabotaging yourself before you actually achieve your goals. Which difficulty do you want? Do you want the difficulty of staying exactly where you are, or do you want the difficulty of doing the thing that actually matters, that gets you to where you want to go, that allows you to rewire your brain and work through these unconscious patterns that are actually running your life? Because your unconscious mind, it only learns through repetition. That's how it learned everything that it currently knows. So when you write your meta story, when you write it 10 times a day, you are literally installing your new software. You are creating new neural pathways inside your brain. And because you are writing this by hand, you are engaging multiple parts of your brain at once. You are engaging the visual, the kinesthetic, and the emotional parts of your brain. Now, this is what makes the reprogramming stick. Step number 3 is that you need to pay attention to the resistance that comes up for you. As you write your meta story, you are going to feel things. You are going to feel doubt. You are going to feel fear. You are going to feel discomfort. Those feelings are your unconscious saying to you, I don't believe this, or this conflicts with my old programming. Now, when these thoughts come up, it's actually a good thing, because now you know exactly where the conflict is. And there's a specific process that you can use to resolve these conflicts. Firstly, you identify them. You rewrite the parts that trigger resistance for you. So if there are certain words which are triggering this resistance for you, say for example you're using 2 different words, or say for example you're going for 2 different goals. Maybe you first go for $10,000 a month, but that triggers resistance in you. Then just slightly decrease it. Say you want to make $9,000 a month and see how that feels in your system. And you keep redoing this refining process of writing your meta story until it feels just right, until it feels like a 10 out of 10 in excitement of what you actually want. And it also doesn't feel like it's too difficult for you, because if it feels too difficult, a lot of mental resistance is going to continue coming up, and it's going to be difficult for you to actually start going towards your goals. You're going to end up self-sabotaging. And so what you want to do is that you want to create a goal that you believe is actually achievable for yourself, but at the same time it must be truly exciting for you. Now, when your meta story feels completely true and exciting with no resistance, that's when you know that your unconscious and your conscious minds are now aligned. And that's when the magic happens. Now, makes this different from everything else you've tried in the past. This method doesn't just talk to your conscious mind, as we discussed. It actually reprograms your entire unconscious. It doesn't ignore the conflict that arises, it identifies it and it resolves it. And so it uses the same principles that teaches computers and children: repetition, emotion, and reinforcement. This is why it works when everything else has failed for you. I've used this method multiple times in my life. Like I said, I've been doing this for 5 years now. I used it when I was a broke 9 to 5 worker to get out of that job and never work a 9 to 5 job again. And I've used it as well to work with multiple 7, 6-figure, 8-figure, and even 9-figure companies growing their businesses with YouTube and with content creation. And again, what this process does is that it fixes the root cause of the issue inside your brain. And so it gets your conscious and your unconscious to work together. And so once you fix the issue, once you resolve the resistance that comes up for you, you never have to deal with it again. I worked through something back in 2020, and because I resolved it back then using this process, I've never had to deal with that issue again. And so when you do this multiple times, if you keep doing it multiple times to keep expanding yourself and keep going after your goals, you never have to repeat the same patterns that kept you stuck before. You never have to deal with the same resistance because you have resolved it inside your unconscious mind. And now your unconscious mind and your conscious mind are both working together to get you to the things that you want to get to in your life. So here's what you can do right now. If you are tired of setting goals and failing, if you are tired of self-sabotage, if you're ready to finally align your conscious and unconscious mind to get the results that you've been chasing, I've created something called the cybernetic transposition quick start guide, and it's a simple step-by-step breakdown of this entire process that I've just explained. It goes through how to write your meta story, how to identify your unconscious conflicts, how to resolve them, as well as everything you need to actually reprogram your unconscious mind to start achieving your goals. Because I've taken Stuart Lichtman's 200-page manual on this subject and distilled it into something you can read in 10 minutes and start using today. The link is in the description if you want it. And if you got value from this video, then hit subscribe, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Cheers.